What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so this is a video request that I got from one of my subscribers to pick between two all-time greats. One, of course, being Tim Duncan, the other being a player still active in the NBA, Kevin Durant. Now, who do I think is better all time? You can tell me who you think is better all time in the comment section. Now, got a little bit of a cold today, so bear with me. First of all, both of them are all-time great players, no doubt about it. Kevin Durant, I see some people call him top 10 all-time. I've noticed this plot to try to overrate a lot of the competition today, which is really just a scheme to raise another guy. I don't think Kevin Durant's top 10 all time. I would give him, I would put him inside the top 20. And the reason why I don't have him higher than that is because I don't hold those championships and that Finals MVP as in high regard as maybe some other people do, as maybe his fan base. But it is what it is. I will put him inside the top 20. But make no mistake about it, man, Kevin Durant just may be the talent-wise, the best pure scorer the game has ever seen. Now, I say best pure because technically, you know, if he were to be more aggressive, yeah, his efficiency may go down a bit, but I could see him leading the NBA in scoring every year. The difference is KD, you know, he doesn't like to push himself more than he has to, in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, KD is fine going out there, taking his 15 to 19 shots a game, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Playing within the system. He's cool. KD don't really like to overdo it. Now, with Tim Duncan, on the other hand, because of the system, Tim Duncan held his game back. Because I strongly believe that Tim Duncan could have averaged 27, 28 points per game in his career, and he would have on an inferior team. But the trade-off would have been that he wouldn't have won all those titles, and possibly, at least not as many MVPs. Because I think they would have held certain things against him in the MVP voting. You know, the fact that he wasn't the most exciting player, and, you know, with other stuff, you know. But who's better? Who do I think is better between the two? And I got to give it to Tim Duncan. Number one, what has Greg Popovich and the Spurs done since he's left? And yes, I know he was a shell of himself by the end, but his last year in the NBA, I believe the Spurs won 64 games. And, you know, yeah, they had a little bit of a renaissance with the, you know, with the breakout of Kawhi Leonard. But really, what have they done since? Greg Popovich, for all of his great, you know, for all the praise against being a great coach, I mean, currently the Spurs are the second worst team in the NBA, I believe, behind the Detroit Pistons. Now, Popovich doesn't have an excuse because you got Victor Wembanyama there. So now it's kind of almost like a Tom Brady situation with, you know what I'm saying, like all these years, a lot of people are saying it's the coach. But it appears to be something different. It appears it's not the coach. It was the player. It was the once in a lifetime player. It's funny, the Spurs, when Tim Duncan was active, had a winning streak unparalleled in NBA history. Not even Jordan's Bulls, not even Russell's Celtics. Each year, the Tim Duncan dynasty, if you want to call it that, they either won 50 games or in the strike years, what would have been the equivalency of 50 games or more. So there's been nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan won 5 NBA championships. Kevin Durant 2. Tim Duncan won, I think, I believe it was 3 Finals MVPs. Let me make sure of that. I think 99, 2003, 2005. Yeah, and I think '07 it was Parker. And then the last one was Kawhi. So, yeah, 3 Finals MVPs, Kevin Durant 2. But people just don't respect KD's titles, man, because he was on a super team. It wasn't a team that was pieced together in a normal manner. And, at the end of the day, the Warriors came back and won a championship since he left. And they did win a championship before he got there. So, that's the thing. The Spurs never won a championship before Tim Duncan got there. And fuck a championship. They've been one of the worst teams in the NBA since he left. So impact goes to Tim Duncan. Leadership goes to Tim Duncan. Kevin Durant was the better offensive player. Even though Tim was a great offensive player too, who held back. I know KD averages like what? 27 points per game for his career. KD is obviously the better shooter, better mid-range shooter, outside shooter. As far as ISO, ball handling, one-on-one situations. Now, of course, Tim Duncan was infinitely better scoring in the post like a traditional big man. But I remember Tim had range too. For his era, Tim had decent range. I want to say generally out to 17 to 18 feet, maybe 19 feet. Tim had consistent range. He had a few threes in his career, but that was a little bit outside of his normal range. Of course, Tim Duncan was a okay free throw shooter, somewhere around 70%. Whereas Kevin Durant is an outstanding free throw shooter. Phenomenal, really. 88, 89% for his career. But when it comes to leadership, it's Tim Duncan by a mile. When it comes to the defensive side of things, it's Tim Duncan by a landslide. Even though Tim got a little bit better, even though KD got a little bit better as his career progressed on that as far as defense, but Tim Duncan really could have won Defensive Player of the Year a couple times. Shot blocking, interior defense, being a defensive anchor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Tim Duncan all the way. Tim, I also believe, even though Kevin Durant has his moments, Tim, to me, in his prime, was possibly even better. I would say a more consistent clutch performer. Now, I know in people's minds, when they think clutch, they think a guy hitting a fadeaway or hitting a three. But with Tim, I'm not always talking about scoring. It could be kicking it to Robert Ory for the win. Selfishness. Always trying to make the best play. People always talking about LeBron James makes the best play or the right play all the time. Tim Duncan, he might have had a boring game and all of that, and I don't think that's the case either. But I know people think that. But Tim Duncan always made the right play. Basketball IQ, Tim Duncan was way up there with the all-time greats. Kevin Durant's basketball IQ not as high. It's not as high. So look, when you take that, you look at the resume. Don't get me wrong, KD's resume is phenomenal, but with Tim Duncan's, um, KD got an MVP award, but Tim Duncan won two. Matter of fact, let's look at Tim Duncan's resume right quick. Five-time NBA champion, three-time Finals MVP, two-time league MVP, 15-time All-Star, 2000 All-Star Game MVP, 10-time All-NBA first team, three times All-NBA second team, two times All-NBA third team, eight times NBA All-Defensive first team, seven times All-Defensive second team, 15 times altogether on the All-Defensive team. I think that's an NBA record. NBA Rookie of the Year, 1998. NBA All-Rookie First Team, 1998. NBA Teammate of the Year, 2015. Number 21 retired by the San Antonio Spurs. 75th Anniversary Team. Sportsman of the Year, Sports Illustrated, 2003. USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year, 2003. IBM Award, 2002. Scored over 26,000 points, 26,496 points. Grabbed over 15,000 rebounds. Matter of fact, I believe he is one of only, five players to have over 15,000 rebounds? What do you think? Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, and I think Nate Thurman. There might be somebody I'm forgetting, but I think that's it. I think Jerry Lucas is a little bit under that total. But yeah, I think so Tim Duncan is right there, fifth or sixth. Let me see. Chamberlain, Russell. I'm a little bit off my game, y'all. I'm a little bit sick today. Chamberlain, Russell, Kareem, Moses, Thurman, Duncan. So Duncan will be six, I guess. Blocked over 3,000 shots. So I'm assuming he's the only guy, one of only two players that officially had over 25,000 points, 15,000 rebounds, and 3,000 blocks. I guess him and Kareem. Won the bronze in Athens in 2004. FIBA Championship 1999 and 2003. LeBron in the Goodwill Games in 1994. So yeah, I would give it to Tim Duncan, man. Tim Duncan was great low post moves, the mid range bank shot. Matter of fact, I think he's the last guy that I've seen to still have the bank shot. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think.